Welcome to Mimi's Math Channel. Today I'm going to discuss quadratic regression. We're going to use the data below to answer parts A through D. So for my time, that's represented in seconds, I'm going to say that this represents my Y. I'm sorry, my X's, sorry. And then my height is going to be in meters, and those are going to be my Y values. So I'm asked to write the quadratic regression model. What I would suggest that you do is go ahead and go to your calculator, and I'm going to walk you through step by step. First thing you want to do is go to mode, and then you want to go all the way down until you see stat diagnostics, and you want to make sure that that's turned on. Once you turn it on, it's good. You don't have to keep doing this each step. All right, so now to get out of the screen, go to second mode. The second thing I personally like to do is I go to my y equals, and if anything is in there, I go ahead and clear it out. And then I'm going to go and enter my data. So go to stat, and it's already selected as 1, hit enter. For the sake of time, I've already entered the data, but I do want to kind of let you know that if you did have something, say for instance, over here, and you wanted to quickly get rid of it, you can just go up to the heading and hit clear, enter. It'll take everything away at one time. Also, I wanted to let you know, sometimes when you go in your computer, your calculator, the heading is missing. For instance, excuse me, if this was missing, someone accidentally deleted it, what you can do is just go to second, press delete, which is insert. Make sure you hit second first. All right, and now you're going to see it's blank, and then it's also saying name. If I wanted to put L3 there, I would go to second, and then the number 3 right above it, it says L3. So I can see where it says name and now says L3, hit enter. And now my list title has come back. So now that everything is entered in, what I want to do is I want to go to second, Y equals. I want to go to and turn on my plot 1. So I'm going to hit enter because it's already selected at 1. It's blinking on, so hit enter. Go to type and choose that first one, which is already chosen in my case. Again, we want list 1 and 2, but if you're using list 2 and 3, then make sure that you adjust this accordingly. So list 1 and 2. And then this is just telling how do I want my scattered plot to look. Do I want little boxes, plus signs, whatever. And then the color. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter there. Because everything is selected the way I wanted it. If I hit enter if I wanted to adjust this color. I don't. I'm fine with blue. So now I'm going to go to stat. This is where the action is happening. So then I want to arrow over to calc, go down to number 5 because I know we're working with quadratic regression. So that's what I wanted. Make sure your lists are correct. For me personally, I like to store my function in Y equals. So once you get here, press vars, arrow over to Y vars. Function is already selected, hit enter 2 times. And now you want to go down to calculate, hit enter. This is now going to show you your information that you need for your quadratic regression model. So I see my A is negative 4.9. So when I write this out, I'm going to write Y equals negative 4.9 x squared. And then if I go back, I see that B is 23.4. So that's going to be plus 23.4x. And then finally, C, my constant is 120. So plus 120. This is my quadratic regression model. I can use any value for X that I want to figure out what's going to happen in the future. So you also notice on that screen that there's something that says R squared equals 1. That indicates this is an excellent model because the closer to 1 that you get, the better the model is. In this case, it's exactly 1. So that's a good thing. Also, you want to pay attention to your signs. You notice for my A, I had a negative, and then everything else had a positive. So pay attention to that. My part B says, what is the height, excuse me, to the nearest tenths after 7 seconds? So height in our example is going to be the Y value. So I want to look in my table for seconds. Seconds is my X value. So going back to the calculator, in order to get to my table, I press second graph, and then I just arrow down to 7. That's my X. And then arrow over to the right, that's going to be my height, and it's set to the nearest tenth, so 43.7 is my answer for part B. Now I'm asking part C, what is the time? So that means my X to the nearest hundredths of a second that it will take for the object to reach its maximum height, maximum. All right, so the best way to do this is to use the X portion of your vertex formula. So negative B over 2A, and that will be negative B is this part right here. And then this is A. So negative 23.4 over 2 times negative 4.9. And I'm just going to go ahead and go to the calculator, show you how to input that. In order to get out of this screen, you want to quit, and quit is in blue above mode, so second mode. And then I'm going to do alpha, y equals, and my fraction is enter. Make sure you're using the correct negative sign or you're going to get a syntax error. So negative b, the b was 23.4 over, oops, I did not mean to do that. Go back here. All right, and that's going to be over 2 times A, which is negative 4.9. And so my answer is going to be 2.39 because I was asked to round it to the nearest hundredths, 2.39. Seconds. And that was meters. And let's see. And then it says use technology to sketch the scatter plot. So what you would want to do is go to Zoom 9, and you will see that it's showing you your information for the data that you input. You can also press trace if you wanted to just kind of like for that question where it asked you, what is the time that it's going to reach its maximum height? You can kind of guesstimate. So the max is going to be between 2 and 3, but see, you would have to really guess versus if you just used a formula like we just did here, then you could just find your answer. But graphing it, you want to do zoom number 9. And like I said, if you just wanted to kind of get an approximate value for certain information. So like if I wanted to know, well, what is this point? I can just hit trace and look at the bottom. It tells me at 3, y is 146.1. All right. So that's it for the video. Like and subscribe. Have an awesome day.